Good evening. This is CTV News for Tuesday, September 26th. I'm Denise Douglas. So glad you could join us this evening. It's time to act. That is the message coming from several hundred protesters to Congress on the issue of DACA. They rallied close to the Capitol and are demanding the passage of a Clean Dream Act, which would allow more than 800,000 children brought to the U.S. as kids to remain in the country to study and work. President Trump ended the program several weeks ago. Here's more on what a congressman and immigration advocate who were at the event had to say about the importance of saving DACA.
In fact, as you heard me say, if we bring this bill to the floor, as we're trying to do, and we urge Speaker Ryan to do, it will pass. It will pass because the majority of members of the Congress of the United States agree with the American people that we ought not to send people home send people away from their home to a country that they do not know.
Not only 800,000 people who are right now covered by DACA, there's another 400,000 that are covered by the temporary protection status. So it means suffering directly to these communities, but it also means a huge impact to the economy of this country, to the fabric of community and family in this country, because a lot of these young people are people who are working for the tech companies, for the business industry. So it's huge. It leaves a lot of people in even more dire situation than where we already are, and it's a big blow to the economy and to every American.
Protesters also want the October 5th deadline for Dreamers to renew their status extended in light of the disruptions caused by the recent hurricanes. About 30 immigrant rights groups turned out for that rally that you saw there. An emergency lockdown has been lifted at Potomac High School after an incident this morning. Officials say students and staff were kept safe in the building. As a precaution, staff at Potomac High School quickly alerted police about a student having a gun on campus. Surveillance cameras show a former student trespassing and also speaking with a current student. The school was on lockdown for about an hour.
A teacher alerted one of our school resource officers that there was a trespasser on the property speaking with a current student. Our officer quickly reacted, found the current student, and began questioning that student. During the questioning, the officer found a handgun on the student, quickly arrested that student, and recovered the handgun. During that time, other officers responded to the school to canvass the area and search for the trespasser. The school officials placed the school on lockdown out of an abundance of caution. That lockdown has since been lifted, and the trespasser is no longer on the property. We do know who the trespasser is, and it's just a matter of time before we locate him and find him.
The current student is in custody, and officers are still searching for the trespasser. If you took the Baltimore-Washington Parkway this morning, you were probably stuck in traffic due to back-to-back crashes. U.S. Park Police say there were over 10 crashes on the roadway between 2 and 8 a.m. 2 of the crashes occurred near Greenbelt Road. Another incident happened between MD 197 and Powder Mill Road. Officials reported multiple injuries, one in which a man was flown to shock trauma in critical condition.
Parkway, it's always busy. Any time of the day you go, you travel, it's always traffic. So it's only a 2-lane, so it's kind of hard to commute.
It's pretty much congested in the morning, but I'm not on it every day, so I can't say, but I know people that do take it every day and they say it's really congested in the mornings.
Good news here is north and southbound have since been reopened. This is U.S. Rail Safety Week. That's right, all across the country, law enforcement agencies are out in force, spreading the word. Byron Scott explains.
At grade crossings across the U.S.,
here's some information on railroad safety.
More than 200 local police departments in 48 states are taking part in the largest ever railroad safety enforcement effort. It's called Operation Clear Track.
Essentially, the Amtrak Police Department did reach out to us to assist them with circulating, passing out literature to drivers at each of our railroad crossings.
All right, drive safe.
Patrol officers are talking to motorists, pedestrians, and bikers, passing out these cards stressing grade cross safety tips that sound like common sense, life-saving rules, like never going around lowered gates and not walking on the tracks.
Again, it just boils down to paying attention while you're driving, minimizing any distractions in the vehicle, even on the bicycle, whatever you may be distracted by, a music iPod or what have you.
Of the 1,300 grade crossings in Maryland, 57 are here in Prince George's County,
including this one here at Riverdale Park. Now, while most operate incident-free, back in January of this year, a man was killed not far from here as he walked on the tracks.
It was Wednesday, January 25th. Police say a man fell under the train after the locomotives passed him by. According to Operation Lifesaver, about every 3 hours, a person or vehicle is hit by a train. And if you're wondering if the education effort is working, in 1972, there were some 12,000 train motor vehicle collisions. That number is now down to an average of 2,000 a year.
Slow down wherever you're off, in a rush to. It's not worth your life.
Make sure you keep an eye out for yourself and being safe. All right. You're welcome. Have a good day.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
Thank you, Byron. Byron also shared a little history fact with us. Operation Lifesaver was founded in the early 1970s. In politics, if you have not decided which one of the Democratic candidates you would vote for in next year's gubernatorial race, you aren't alone. A recent Goucher poll indicates that most Marylanders feel the same way. Of those who did have made an early decision, 21% say they would consider voting for Rashawn Baker, who is currently the Prince George's County Executive. 17% would cast a ballot for Baltimore County Executive Kevin Kamenetz. 14% would go for Ben Jealous, the former president of the NAACP. The poll surveyed 324 Democratic voters from September 14th to the 8th.